So we begin today's meditation for the fourth O antiphon. And as mentioned, there are 7 O antiphons. Each antiphon refers to a archetypal reality of salvation. In the Christian tradition, it refers to the coming of Christ as the complete fullness of what that archetypal image of salvation is. But it's very easy, because they're universal, to frame them and open them up so that everybody has their own entry point, that the antiphon points to part of the essential nature. And today's O antiphon is O Clavis David, O key of David. And the entire theme is around salvation and liberation. Liberation is a really delightful word, I think. Salvation has a lot of nuance to it and can sometimes leave people feeling that it's more black and white. But liberation is perhaps a softer way to refer to part of our calling as a human being. And our calling is to be free. That's our calling. Our calling is to be free of suffering, free of bondage, free of limitation, whether it's self-limitation, whether it's limitation in this world. And liberation is a very foundational theme in every religious and spiritual construct. If you were to look very lightly, and I say lightly since I'm not a Hindu scholar, if you were to look very lightly at the Hindu 4 aims of life, they point to liberation as the ultimate freedom for the spirit. They point to 4. There's Dharma, that's the sense of purpose and the sense of duty, that it's part of our essential nature to key into, to be devoted to, and to understand what our purpose is in life. The second is Artha, and it is actually abundance and prosperity, that one of the aims of this life is that we live in a very abundant world, and therefore abundance is part of our essential nature as God-oriented creatures. Kama is the third, and that's pleasure and love and those types of fulfillment. And the fourth is moksha, which is liberation. So today we have Key of David. I want to read for you, one day I read some of the words of Malcolm Geet, who has some beautiful poetry on each of the O antiphons. Let me read for you what he wrote as his own poetic translation of today's antiphon. Even in the darkness where I sit and huddle in the midst of misery, I can remember freedom, but forget that every lock must answer to a key, that each dark clasp, sharp and intricate, must find a counterclasp to meet its guard, particular, exact, and intimate. The clutch and catch that meshes with its ward, I cry out for the key I threw away, that turned and overturned with certain touch, and with the lovely lifting of a latch, opened my darkness to the light of day. Oh, come again, come quickly, set me free. Cut to the quick to fit the master key. Keys do many things on a practical level, don't they? And their 2 main purposes is to lock and to unlock. We use a key to turn a lock so a door can't be opened, and we turn a key to unlock so that a door can be open. So one of the questions that is before us in this O antiphon is, who holds the key? Or what is the key? And the second is, how can we open the door that is shut? There is an intimacy to that question. I don't think that it's a sweeping broad stroke of it's always this way or it's never that way. And I think there is truth in some of the modern psychological ideologies out there that we create our world and we create our universe and we create our realities. And I think there's truth to that. But part of the truth when we get intimate with that is to find that there has been an unusual dance that has happened where our bondage, our loss of liberation hasn't been at the hand of our ill will, hasn't been solely at the hand of us saying, I don't want freedom. But it rather has been a response to a particular pain or a reality that showed up and we didn't know how to deal with it or what to do about it. So we separated out, we disassociated, or we repressed, or we didn't even have any relationship to it and it went right into the unconscious. So I think this process of liberation is a dance of understanding that, yes, we hold a key. Yes, we hold the treasure. We hold the path. But the liberation comes by waking up to the simplicity within ourselves that we can open the door, that the door can be opened with a simple surrender and a simple allowing. And that coming to that simplicity is the process of liberation. Simplicity doesn't happen in just our minds. Simplicity doesn't happen in just saying, I'm going to open my heart right now. Simplicity is a quality that characterizes the one who has been liberated. What is powerful in the monotheistic traditions, I think, and what I always found powerful as a Christian, was that there was a surrender into something greater than my limited self. There was an easy and a quick key to open the door that caused me suffering, because I could just give it all up, just completely let go into the hands of a transcendent self. There's some power and there's some beauty in that act of surrender. But ultimately, it leads us back to what John of the Cross said so eloquently later in his life, and that is that the soul's center is God. The path of liberation leads us to the simplicity of letting go to the extent that we come into the intimacy of our own experience of our center being God. One of the practices that we can take on immediately is discernment, is to imagine we have a key, and when we want to give a yes, when we see that a yes leads to liberation, we use the key and open the door. And when we stand before something that will cause us suffering, we use the key and we shut the door. We let our yeses be aligned with liberation and our nos be aligned with liberation. That is a simple yet very, very powerful practice that all of us are capable of entertaining and doing in a moment. So this morning's meditation is going to draw upon a very ancient mantra in the Hindu tradition. And it's called the Gayatri Mantra. That's Gayatri. And what I'd like to do, I have multiple sets of beads. I have rosaries and malas and all sorts of sets of beads. Today I chose the mala since we were doing a mantra from a different tradition. And if you happen to have some beads, you can use them. Beads can be helpful just simply to maintain a point of focus and to accomplish a goal. If you do a whole mala or a whole rosary, you know when you've finished. So it can mark the beginning and the end of a commitment. But it helps the body harness into a point of focus that allows the sounds that you're participating in to sound more powerfully and deeply within you. So we're going to chant the Gayatri Mantra. And I could have given you words ahead of time for this, but you can Google them and pull them up if you'd like. And if not, I'd like you just to sink into the mantra. Just let yourself tone the syllables as you're able. And the syllables are quite simply this. Om Bor Burvaha Svaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bargo Devatra Dimati Diyo Yo Yano Pracho Odayat. It's a little bit difficult, and I don't want you to get caught in the words. So with that, I invite you to close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, become intimate with yourself. Let the you that is not defined just by this lifetime regard the self that is the vehicle of you being here right now, that has the thoughts and the feelings, the experiences, the memories, the hopes. And in this regard, come close to your own essential desire for liberation. A popular scripture verse and spiritual adage is that the truth will set you free. This you can rely on. Because the truth is veiled to each one of us in direct proportion to how open or closed we are to it. Today we set the intention that the truth will set us free. And in turn, that this freedom will ripple out to all the world, to human creatures, to all creation. That the aim of the life we're meant to live, that is liberated, may come about. And as we prepare for our mantra, let the words of the O antiphon lead you into a surrender of anything you notice now in your mind or heart that is holding you captive. O Clavis David, Exceptum Domus Israel, qui aperis et nemo Claudis et nemo aperi. Veni et educ vinctum de domo cacedis, sedetem in tenebris, et umbra mortis. The very sound of these syllables is an activator and a catalyst to the reality to which they point, to union with God, union with the divine, liberation. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhurvat Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. We fecund with life and liberation in one place, and that is in silence. Let the sweetness, even if it's just a drop upon your tongue that you taste, ripple through your entire physical body. And from that place of illumination, ripple out to all the world. And to further open ourselves to this liberation that is part of our aim and therefore part of what we can taste even now if we allow. We begin to end our meditation with a third antiphon, a third chant and mantra. The ancient syllables so hum that integrate within ourselves the heat and cool, the masculine and the feminine, the active and receptive parts of ourselves. The in-breath is the soul, and the out-breath is the hum. The soul, the tongue hits the top of the palate. Inviting in a breath and exhaling. And begin. So. Ha. So. Ha. So. Ha. So. Ha. So. Ha. So. Ah, so, ah, so, ah, so, ah, so, ah, so, ah. Before opening your eyes, let there be a smile upon your face. And bring the gaze down to the solar plexus, the third chakra, the place of the will, the individuated self, the sun of you, a few inches above the belly button. And imagine or let this part of your body smile as well. And in that smile, open yourself to the light of day. And in that light, I invite you to open your eyes. Great to be with you all. Have a blessed day. May it be one of great liberation. Blessings, my friends.